Welcome, welcome in, everyone. Can you hear me all right? Is everything okay? Um, just want to make sure that I've got all my ducks in a row, all my settings ready to go. In case y'all can't tell, today's outfit is inspired by the Black Mage dressphere because, like I told y'all last time, I trained a lot on the Black Mage. Um, and so, hi, here we are. Welcome to part two of my very arduous 100% run of Final Fantasy X-2. I'm so happy to see all of you here today. Um, and in case y'all don't know, I am doing this series of streams for charity. That's what this yellow bar over here on my overlay is. I'm going to be competing in a bike event in April that is called Padres Pedal the Cause, and every dollar raised contributes to cancer research right here in SoCal, which is very exciting. I actually got a bot set up today. Her name is sylleblossom. So if at any point you do feel like donating, you just type in exclamation point charity. That is what will happen, and it will take you right to the link that you need to do to donate. And so last time, if y'all remember, we left off in Mushroom Rock, and I want to show y'all what I was doing while we were away. As promised, I definitely grinded up some levels on our girls, so that will be a little more hardy in the future. Um, and we've got Pain almost maxed out on her Black Mage, which is great. She knows a lot of spells now, so that's going to help us out a ton as we move forward. So, uh, there was there is an extra dressphere that we may be able to get now, and I might want to try and get that because it's really cool and it's exclusive to the remaster of the game. And I didn't want to do that without y'all because I wanted y'all to be able to see sort of the reveal of what this new dressphere was. So let's have a look see. So our pal Shinra in the international version of the game, this was not in the PS2 version of the game. Um, our pal Shinra has don't worry about any of that right now. He has a fiend arena that we can participate in. Um, and by default, something called the Standard Cup should be available. Correct. And so if we win this, we're going to win a new dressphere, which is really cool. And I could have done this while I was grinding off screen, but I didn't want to. Make sure I'm centered in my view here. So there we go. That's better. Oh, show the makeup. That's right. So as a black mage, um, one side of my face is inspired by lightning magic. So I've got all the yellow and the lightning bolt going on here. And then the other side of my face is inspired by ice magic, which is two of the four elements that are in the game. So it's blue and it's got the snowflake. So I had a lot of fun doing it. I had a lot of fun putting this look together for the Black Mage. Let's see if we're now hardy enough to win the Standard Cup. Because if we are, we can win a very cool dressphere that I think y'all will like. And I almost inspired my look on today and then remembered I did not have it in this file. So, any of you who've played this game, what about the piston? That's right, Daisy. If we're not hardy enough to win this right now, don't worry, we'll come back later. But I wanted to see if we were. For those of you just joining us, or for those of you who do not know me, my name's Sylleblossom. Um, I really like Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts, and I am doing the stream series of one of my favorite games of all time, which is Final Fantasy X-2. And I'm trying to get 100% on this run in order to raise money for charity. And so if you donate to me, it'll show up in this little blue bar over here. Sorry, it's not blue; it's yellow here over on my left from your point of view. Um, and I'd really appreciate anything that you might be able to give. Also, I'm gonna die, I think. You got it. I'll go in there and do that. That should make it a little bit louder. Oops. Yeah, Yuna might die. Yeah, that might be it. Everybody does get fully healed before each fight, though. So if I can take this guy out. Nope, that's it. Oh well, I tried. All right, we'll go play the game now. Maybe 2, 3 more smidges. Okay. How's that? It should be a little louder. I don't think I can make it much louder than that. Making it so it's not, like, blaring in my ear. There we go. Okay. Alright, we'll play the game now. So when we last left off, in case y'all might remember, y'all might recall, we had a lot of trouble getting to 13% exactly because we talked to people in the wrong order. And so then we went back and fixed that. And so now we're going to the next place, which is the Temple of Djose, as Yuna says it in the first game. And I wonder what we're going to be doing here.
After we defeated sin, people began to distance themselves from the temples. For a long time, Djose Temple was neglected as well. But now... Everyone's staring. You're famous, Yumi. Get used to it. All I want's some peace and quiet.
Hi, Esper. The run's going great. We have 13% exactly, which is what we wanted for the time being. And hopefully we're going to get another percent here, so if we're continuing to do everything correctly, we'll be at 14% exactly when we're done here. Hello, Barnabas. Welcome, welcome.
He can be kind of annoying, but he's alright.
Okay, let's do some interviews. Bring it!
If you recognize that voice, it is because it is OG Zach Fair. That is Rick Gomez who voices this character. We have to go stand in line and wait our turn over here. While I get up another guide over here. That I'm gonna need in a little bit. The run is going well. We had a slight hiccup last time where we talked to people in the wrong order and didn't get all of the percentage. But that's why we have multiple saves, and so then we went back and fixed it. Now it's my turn to go in. Let's see what they say. I want to dig. Alright. We don't have very many Albed primers, I don't think, so there might be some things we don't quite fully understand.
Gippal! Huh?
Hello.
You, here for an interview?
I miss Rick Gomez. I played Crisis Core recently and they recast him, and the new guy's fine, but
Former summoner.
I miss his voice.
Alright, follow me.
Let's go see what Gippal has to say.
close to a celebrity before.
That's nice.
I could get used to this.
Why is he standing like that?
Let's not.
I absolutely love
This
Yuna's
is
run.
Sid's girl. How you been?
Hey, I have a name.
Huh. Brother doing okay?
Same as ever. Buddies round two.
Really?
Same as ever,
I didn't
right?
change anything. I'll go look at it after the cutscene.
You!
I think I remember how I fixed it last time.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Huh?
We're here for the interview.
That's not suspicious at all.
The interview. You sure you want to dig? 'Cause we're talking about the desert, ladies. Not exactly a picnic.
I wish I could prank him and get 100%, but I do in fact have to say that I'm sure.
Alright, you're hired. Welcome.
Huh?
You are hired. Don't know why a superstar like you would want to play in the sand. Well, do what you gotta do. Anyways, I've done what I can. Dig to your heart's content.
Thanks.
Show this letter to a woman named Nala. You'll find her in the Bikanel desert.
I wish that they talked differently when there was like highlighted or colored
Happy
text.
digging.
And that should wrap up our business here. I don't think there's anything else we have to do in Djose. So, let's leave. Before I save, let me see where our percentage is. Actually, let me fix the audio first. Oh, how did I do this? I know it was something like monitor only, but I don't remember how to get to that setting. Watch me work with OBS in real time. Settings, audio. No, that's right. Advanced. Rini, do you remember how I prevented the double audio? I cannot remember how to access that menu. And even though I changed literally nothing, it's apparently happening again. I know it's in advanced audio settings, but I always forget how to get there. Settings. Audio. Because it's something like monitor only and not monitor and output, but I can't remember how to get to that menu. Bear with me, folks. Let's see. Maybe I will just Google it real quick. Go to my advanced settings. Not seeing that option. Settings. I appreciate your patience, everybody, while I figure this out. Oh, that's right. I think I keep clicking on the wrong place to get to it. It's here. And then... that should do it. That should eliminate the doubling. I'll come back to it in a second. I do have some funky tunes on the airship. Alright, let's see if we're at 14% before I save. We are! Fantastic! We did it, gamers! We are at our first big milestone of the day, so I will go ahead and I will up that number. Hopefully that's just gonna keep happening as we go on. I'm gonna save before we do anything else. I do not wanna spoil our good fortune here. The milestone numbers are very easy to check because the game rounds down for some reason. And so even though the game does measure in 0.2s, it will only display whole numbers, and there's no way for you to make it not display that. And so the best way to check is when you know you're going to be at an exact number, to make sure that you've done everything correctly up until this point. So the next destination on our list is going to be the next one down, which is going to be the Moonflow. So those of y'all who might be a little more familiar with the first game will remember this place. It's really pretty.
Anything's changed. People seem to smile more often now. It's as if they finally have time to notice the beauty around them. Hey, this is nice out here. What? People out enjoying nature.
It's the cutscene time to put on my gamer gloves. I forgot to do that before the stream.
A lot of people are traveling these days, trying to learn more about Spira.
Thanks to you, Yuna.
I had nothing to do with it. Go on, give yourself
We have a few new people since the last time I said this. So hi, welcome. I'm Sylleblossom, and I'm raising money for cancer research via Padres Pedal the Cause, which is a charity in my area. I'm going to be doing a 25-mile bike ride with them later this year. And if you do feel compelled to donate at any point, all you have to do is type in !charity, and Sylleblossom will give you directions on what to do after that. And then this little bar over here will light up if you donate, which is really, really cool. Even if you don't donate and you're just here to hang out, that's totally cool. We're just here hanging out, playing one of my favorite games ever. Seriously, top 5, not even joking.
I'll be sponsoring an extraordinary show. Do come. Oh, and I'm totally. Yep. It will be splendid indeed. Mark my words. People here and there and merriment everywhere.
Hey, that sounds like fun. Okay, well, we'll see you then.
Wait. I have a favor to ask of you.
Let's go.
Okay.
Ian's like, we need to leave right now.
Righto. Oh, let's hear him out.
Here's the thing, you see. My able assistant hasn't come back. From Luca, of course. Where else? He went to fetch some supplies, which are vitally, crucially important for the show, you see.
Go, check on him, right?
Oh, quite.
Why ask us?
Because you are sphere hunters, and sphere hunters hunt spheres.
That's right. Hey, look, he's got one.
That settles it.
Right. It's yours if you return my assistant safely back to safety.
I think about return my assistant safely back to safely a lot. Safely back to safety. Think about that a lot. Alright, well let's go see what this assistant has gotten himself into. This mission has been a meme for a long time. You'll see why in a minute. It's a good thing we trained our Black Mage here, because she's gonna wipe them out, like this. There we go. Easy peasy.
That wasn't much fun.
See, that was what inspired my look today, were those hats. I didn't really have a witch's hat, I just have this sun hat that I really like. I figured it's a close enough approximation. Y'all want to see Riku do something funny? I love the fish attack. The Festivalist was also a dressphere that was added in the international remastered version of the game. There were 2 new dresspheres. Everything else was in the original game. Riku fish attack, that's right. I feel like I'm getting a lot of encounters. Love that the main battle theme in this game is just like, they're just going ham on that electric guitar. Oh my god. I feel like I'm taking 5 steps and I'm... Oh, I can't catch you yet. I can't catch you yet. I'm sorry. I will be able to catch chocobos later. I just can't do that at this present moment. So it's very cruel that they can spawn in battle. Oh, there he is.
You're Tobli's assistant?
Yes. Are you friends of the chief?
You sure are. You just sit back and let the goings escort you back to Tobli.
Thank you.
Got a little heating pad under my chair because it's a little chilly in my house. I hope you're all staying warm out there. I know at least in the States there's a bit of a cold snap going on. So I hope you're all staying warm at home. So we have to escort this guy back to where we just came from.
Oh no, bandits, we are under siege.
In order to get full completion, we must defeat all of the bandits, and we cannot let any of the cargo get away. It's a good thing we're super leveled. That chocobo is not standing on the ground. Do y'all see this? That chocobo is floating.
Oh no, bandits, we are under siege.
Hey, hey, hey! Fight me!
I'm gonna whack you good.
Smoking's bad for you.
Hey, 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 hey! Hey, you! Don't steal my cargo! That was overkill. We just set him on fire after he already did. Alright, he still has all 5 of his cargoes.
Oh no, bandits, we are under siege.
When we were coming through here, we didn't encounter any bandits, but now that we're coming through with the cargo, there's like 80 bandits.
Ashes to ashes.
Dust to dust. Riku, you're fighting in flip-flops. I don't think that's very practical.
No problem.
Still have all 5 of our cargoes. Good, good, good. That it? Did we do it? I think so. Alright, let's see what we get.
Oh, you've returned.
Thanks to these ladies.
Yep, of course you've been most helpful. With this, the show is just a step away from smashing success. Here, as promised.
Hey, I got a new dressphere.
Oh, and take this with you two for everything you've done.
We got a new garment grid. We'll have to check those out.
It's such a good fuzzy feeling meeting reliable people person such as yourselves. Yes, sirree.
You're very welcome.
Just remember, it was the Gullwings that helped you out.
Making sure I'm checking off all my guides and we're doing all the right stuff. The Gun Mage is a fun dressphere because it's sort of the blue magic of this game. Where the Gun Mage, if you get hit with particular attacks, you can then use them against fiends. So kind of like Kimari in the first game. Let's see. The other cool part about, I'm gonna give this garment grid to Riku, I think. The other cool part about the Gun Mage is that, you can learn abilities, you can use Scan, and you can also learn abilities that are particularly effective against particular enemy types. So if you're really smart about the Gun Mage, you could do some pretty cool, pretty targeted attacks with it. And then, of course, you can also learn Blue Bullets, which is just getting hit by an attack while this dressphere is active. You're always going to want to have it on you in case an ability gets used that you can mimic. So let me see. Vanguard. What else do I have on here? I can get rid of Gunner. Okay. Despite being one of the default dresspheres, I actually don't end up using Gunner very much. Then which one is Pain using? This one, probably. No? Because it gives you a warning, usually. It's like, so-and-so is using this garment grid. I think so. Nobody has told me that it hasn't. We should be all set to go. So let's go and check where we stand. Actually, there will be no way to check where we stand, but I know where we should be. So theoretically, we should be at 14.6 after having done all of that. So So let me save on a different file in case I messed that up. And then we'll head to our next destination, which will be Guadosalam. And one of the very first times I played this game, this was one of the like tiny, tiny things that I missed and didn't get 100% by doing exactly this in Chapter 1. So we're gonna go do that. And if I do that, we should have 15% exactly, another easily checkable milestone.
Guadosalam, home of the Guado. You remember, right? But the Guado are no longer here. Some people think they deserved all that happened for what they did to Spira. They have a point, but it seems like such a sad way to look at things.
So if y'all remember from the first game, Guadosalam used to be the home of Maester Seymour. It's kind of where we first had a lot of our interactions with him in the first game. And now it's just sort of a thieves' den, and LeBlanc lives here from earlier in the game. And the one thing that I did not do one of the first times I played this game and didn't get 100% was this.
The Farplane, place that unites the living with their memory of the dead. I've thought about going in so many times, hoping that I might see you there. But I never have. I think I probably never will.
So you are unable to go in here. But you do have to approach it so that Yuna will narrate her thoughts to you and get that small little bit of percentage, but there's nothing else really to do here right now. At least for our purposes. So, let's see. Let me make sure we're at 15% exactly before we go to the next place. Also, I'll try to remember to stop by and let y'all read the flavor text that Riku and Pain give when you go to each place. We're doing great. We're cooking with gas. We're at 15% exactly. Hopefully that's a good omen to how things continue to go for the rest of the evening. You just keep picking that number up and up and up. So now we want to go to the Thunder Plains.
Guess what? Riku finally overcame her fear of thunder. Know how? She said she camped out here for a week.
That is the only thing you have to do to get percentage here. You just have to listen to Yuna say that. So now we are at 15.2. Where do we go next? Bikanel? Nope, not quite. Ooh, we're going to Macalania. And Macalania is a bit of a doozy because there is 2.2 percentage for us to get here. So let's get started. I always forget just how much there is to do here in Chapter 1. Fiends here are a little bit tougher too. When I was leveling between streams, I didn't want to level too much, but I wanted to level enough to where I stood a fighting chance, and I wouldn't have to do all that on stream.
They say it's affecting not only the lake.
It's right, Macarena Temple. The temple itself is not accessible anymore after the events of the first game, but this is the region where all of that was.
woods will soon be no more.
So ominous. The woods would be no more. I'm just gonna run off playing my harp. Yeah, these are the 3 or 4 save datas we used last time. I can tell by the date. I always itch to play more of this game off stream. Like, I love this game so much. I probably will do a New Game Plus file on my own. Because I love this game. It's fun to put all the little pieces together. And playing a New Game Plus is especially fun because at the end of this chapter, beginning of chapter 2, so if everything goes well, we'll get there today, there is a major choice that you have to make. And, nope, not this way. And it has huge ramifications for the rest of the game, the choice that you make. And so it's really fun to play a New Game Plus, if only so that you can make a different choice and see how events shake out. But I cannot let chat vote on the choice because there is a correct answer if you want to get 100% in a single file, unfortunately. But anytime I can allow y'all to pick the answer, I will. Alright, so we spoke to him. And then we have to... I think I know where the third person is, without us doing too many random encounters. That's right. Although after I get 100%, I may want to do a different file where it's like chat percent or whatever, and I let the chat make all of decisions about where I go and what I do. And once the chat says I'm done for the chapter, then I'm done for the chapter, and I don't do anything else, and then I just immediately go and do the required missions, and then go to the next chapter. That would be a lot of fun. I think I would call it chat percent. So the chat can choose who I ally with, they can choose how I respond to certain situations, they can choose what I do. Or, this could be a fun thing to do, we could try to get 69% exactly and see if that's even possible. Because I think that it is, because the minimum required percent is like 45 or something, so I know that it's possible. And, that could be a lot of fun, to try to end the game at 69%. Now, the fiends here are a little bit tougher, so let's hope I don't struggle too much. I didn't go training here, or else I would have, because they're worth more experience, obviously. But we hadn't gone here yet, and I didn't want to mess with our percentage counter, so I was, like, kind of in a bind with this one. What I did was I trained in Mushroom Rock and Macalania. Or not Macalania, Mushroom Rock and Mihen. Because we had already been to those places off screen.
Smoking's bad for you.
I like the Gun Mage outfits.
Did that hurt?
Is there a chest back here? No, that's only the first game. They did make the sequel. It's funny. In universe, the sequel takes place 2 years after the first game, and also in real life, the sequel came out 2 years before the first game. And the reason that they were able to put it together so quickly is in part because they reused a lot of assets. So there are locations that are unique to this game. We will get to them eventually. But for right now, we have literally used locations that were created for the first game. So that probably cut down a lot on development time.
Nice work.
I remember the first time I ever played the first game. I used to get so lost in Macalania Woods all the time. I'm gonna heal, actually. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to heal everybody.
Do I have to hold your hand?
That's what I meant to do. Oh, yep, okay. Well. What else did I do this week? I finished recording my all my audio for my March Caprice 4 video, and I know a few people here in chat. I know Asper and Fruitoon are working on projects. I haven't seen Buffoon yet, but I know he's also working on one. And I'm really excited to see it all come together. I think y'all will really like the final product. There you are.
Oh me, oh my, what did you say? Don't move an inch. I'm on my way. These woods grow lonely day by day.
Yes, of course. Don't worry about that, Barnabas. As you can see in my little graphic, I've actually already met my my fundraising obligations. But of course, if you are, I forgot to heal in the menu. Oops. Um, if you are so inclined, of course, I would be happy for that. It says I can't raise more than the goal, of course. And I'm so grateful for everybody's generosity. It really is a cause I believe in, and it's an event. It's an event that I'm gonna have a lot of fun at. Hi, owls. Welcome in. It's going pretty good so far. Pretty relatively smooth. Thank you. I inspired. I took my look from the Black Mage dressphere, which is what Pain is wearing right now. And I have it's a little bit harder to see because I'm so far away, but one side of my face is ice inspired, and the other side of my face is lightning inspired in terms of my makeup. I really took a lot of inspiration from that. I don't really have a witch's hat. This was the closest thing that I had, though, and the hat is so iconic in the dress sphere. I wanted to wear something like that to emulate it. Yeah, last week, unfortunately, I did not know that VODs were not auto, and so unfortunately, last week's stream is lost to the ages. I dressed as the songstress because this game famously opens with the concert and the battle for the songstress dress sphere. And I already know which dress sphere I'm going to be inspired by next time that I stream, which should be Saturday. I moved it this week because I actually get tomorrow off of work because it's a holiday, so I figured why not do it today. Or I should say it's a holiday in the States. And we have to go catch up with another old friend from the first game. Can you guess who? Somebody who became kind of a meme. It's Martin Luther King Jr. Day tomorrow. It's always the third Monday of January, and it's a federal holiday, and so if you work for the federal government, like I do, then you get the day off. And really, everybody should. But that's not always true.
How have you been?
Well,
I was gonna say, it's a character who was quite a meme in Pat's playthrough of Final Fantasy X. It's Tromell, but he's not gonna Tromell shuffle this time. We have to talk to him 4 times, so that was 1.
many Ronso lost their lives at the hands of Lord Seymour. Those who survived swore vengeance for
Need
their
some water.
fallen comrades. We Guado sealed ourselves away in Guadosalam and strengthened our defenses. But soon we no longer had the strength for even this. Now we live among the shadows of these woods.
Tromell.
That's 2.
High Summoner, do not trouble yourself to show sympathy.
I'm not sure how well versed y'all are in the events of the first game, but the Guado, under the direction of Seymour, invaded Mount Gagazet while we were there during the first game, and in that event, many, many, many Ronso were killed. And so that tension is going to be pretty high for the remainder of the game, and so this kind of sets the stage for that.
Ah, well, what brings the High Summoner to these woods?
Well, I'm a sphere hunter now.
A sphere hunter?
We, hunt spheres.
You don't say.
Oh, slopes that dialogue.
Please allow me to give you this. It is of no use to us.
Score.
Thank you.
There usually are, at least where I live, there are, sometimes there are parades and marches, to sort of honor the struggles of the civil rights movement. It's kind of is a stand-in holiday to, like, remember the struggles and sacrifices of the civil rights movement in the U.S. And so I know here where I live, there's a like a march that happens every year on the holiday, and other cities do stuff like that too. So special dress spheres are cool, and I'm going to show y'all that. So now we have access to Payne's special dress sphere, which is called Full Throttle. There are 3, obviously each girl gets one. And it is the only special dress sphere that is possible to miss. The other 2 are going to be found in required missions. So what happens is that if you change dress spheres for the same character and you access every dress sphere that is on her grid during the same battle, once you do that, then the option to change into your special dress sphere will light up. And so next time we're in battle, I will show y'all that and see what that looks like. But we have one more thing to do before we're ready to leave the woods. All of Lake Macalania is gone now. If y'all remember in the first game, this was a giant frozen lake, but when the temple used to be underneath it, underneath the lake ice, and now it's not there. Okay, so Payne has her special dress sphere. So now we're gonna start moving around her grid and changing her into all of her dress spheres. Oh, nice, Fruitoon. I do hope you stay warm in that weather, though. I'm imagining that weather is cold. So please stay warm, and everybody else, too. I know there's a giant cold front in much of the US right now, so I hope everybody stays warm and happy. Fortunately, I'm spared a lot of it, but it's still been pretty chilly around here. Now that we've accessed all of Payne's dress spheres, now we can do her special dress sphere. I'm so excited to show y'all this. So basically, when you use your special dressphere, you sort of become a one-woman army. Yuna's is my favorite special dressphere, but we're not going to be able to access it until Chapter 2. Oh, some of y'all might remember him. We're gonna make Pain a Black Mage again, so she can deal with these. There are, I want to say, funny cage number dresspheres in the original version of the game, maybe? 13? 15? And we so far have 5 or 6.
Am I cold?
Wait a minute. Just to avoid a repeat of last time. I don't think I have to speak to... I don't think I have to speak to the people looking for a Wakka. I just think I have to chase him. But just in case, I'm gonna go speak to the people chasing a Wakka because, as y'all might remember from last time, that can sometimes cause problems when you don't speak to people or do things in the right order. Oops, I used the wrong one. Yep, that's just gonna... Yep, that was my fault. I don't know how you girls aren't cold out here in all the ice. They're all speaking Albed anyway. We only understand a little bit of Albed at this point. Okay, we are going to do this like this. You are going to take out the white one. And then Pain is going to take out the other two. Hopefully Yuna goes first. You would think so, but this game does make you collect the Albed primers again. What the heck? Rainy! My gosh! Wow, that is incredibly generous. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. Wow, I appreciate the heck out of that generosity. Rest assured, the money is going to a fantastic cause. Thank you so. I don't know what to say. Thank you so much. That is so generous. Thank you. I'm really touched by just all of your support and Greenie also helped me get the stream set up, and he's great, everybody. He streams too. You should go check out his streams. He was one of the people that inspired me to stream as well. I did not get shoutouts rigged yet on my bot. I didn't get that far. But if I could, I would do SO Greenie right now. And I would link to his stream. His streams are so chill. He speedruns Shadow of the Colossus. Sometimes he plays XCOM Defenders ? He plays all kinds of games. He did Sonic 06 once. That was a lot of fun. And it's always a good time in his streams. That's right, Robotnik Bloodborne. I do remember that. There's a Wakka down there. He's hiding from us. I could escape from these, but I don't want to. If at any point any of you feel like being generous as well, just type in !charity and it will give you the link to what you need to get that all set up. And that bar over there is live, so if I catch it, I'll definitely be sure to thank you for it. I really appreciate it.
Smoking's bad for you.
That was the only command that I got set up. I didn't get any of my shoutout commands set up yet. That was my next plan. In this mission and this mission only, it is the only time that you get encounters in this area. It's very interesting to me. Usually this area is kind of a get out of encounters free card. Oh shit. I need to leave. This is bad. Okay. Could have been really bad. Oops. Enjoy that experience, Pain. You've earned it. Gonna use the save sphere. Alright. We gotta go. There he is. We gotta chase him. God, he is fast!
Looks like you finally caught up with me.
Y'all might remember him from the first game. The traveling merchant who would give you huge discounts if you supported him in the early game. Right now...
Bought the travel agency from Mr. Rin, but then the temple nearby sank to the bottom of the lake. And business sank with it. Just my luck.
Now the Albed have come to collect and are not in the mood for excuses. Think ye could give old Wakka a place to lay low? For a while? I'll find a way to make it up to ye, I promise.
What do you think? Sounds like he's in trouble.
So, in the chat percent, I would let y'all choose. But unfortunately, to get 100%, we must hide him on our airship.
Thank ye.
In chat percent, I know y'all would be wanting me to get rid of him. There's all of our business in Macalania concluded, and so what's gonna happen is this. He is on our airship now, so let's go see him. I don't know how he just like teleported in there, don't worry about it. But he's in our airship now. I realized there's actually a second way that you can check percentage, and it's kind of dumb, but if you go into your save file where you just saved, you can go in here and click options, and it should tell you what information we're in. So yeah, chapter 1 completed 17%. I actually miss the old PS2 UI because it would tell you right on the save menu what your percentage was, and I kind of prefer that. Alright, so let's go see a Wakka. By the way, we have largely done optional content so far. That is how much content this game has. The only required mission that we've done so far is the one at the beginning where we were in the ruins, and then the one before that where we were at the concert. That is all we have been required to do up until this point. Everything else we have done has been optional.
You don't happen to know where a bloke can make some guild, do ye?
Okay, so now that we have spoken to a Wakka, we should now have a 17.4% completion. And we have to pay off his debt before the beginning of chapter 3. However, there is actually an incredibly easy way to do this. So, assuming you have a little bit... There's two incredibly easy ways to do this. So one of them is assuming that you have a little bit of gil. You can buy things from a Wakka, and then turn right around and sell them to Barkeep. Right over here. No, sorry. That's once you pay off the debt. Never mind. What happens is that once you pay off the debt, a Wakka will give you a steep discount on items until he leaves. And so the discount is so steep that you can buy stuff from a Wakka and immediately sell it to Barkeep for a profit, which is great. And that's how a lot of people make money, but I forgot that you actually have to pay off his debt first before you can do that. So, what I do want to do is sell off all of my potions so that I can buy more from a Wakka. And whatever you buy from a Wakka will help lower his total debt. So a Wakka is basically going to be where I spend all of my money until I pay down that debt. So now, see his debt adjusted based off of the money that we spent. There's actually an incredibly easy way to make all of that gil very quickly in Chapter 2, so if nothing else, we can do it then and still be fine for 100%. But yeah, we are now at 17.4, and we now have to go to Bikanel Desert. I believe you hit 25% when you finish Chapter 1 if you've done everything correctly. So we've still got a ways to go. But again, the minimum percentage you can be going into Chapter 2 with is like 11, so... So remember earlier we went and we visited Gippal and we got the letter. So now we have to go to Bikanel and see what that letter was all about. And if y'all also remember, the Bikanel is Riku's home. This is where home used to be.
This is where the All-Bed's beloved home stood until 2 years ago. Most have moved on, but a handful of All-Beds still live here today. They say countless machina lie buried under the desert sands.
Leave the trailblazing to me. I don't think that sand dune used to be there.
See, it's a good thing I did all of that leveling up off screen so that when we got into the required encounters for all of the missions, I wouldn't be fumbling around too much. That was what I wanted. Oops. This way. Riku, wait! I'm so far behind! There are 5. But there is no chapter select. And so once you leave the chapter, you cannot come back. So it is important that you do everything within the chapter. In the chapter. There are 5, but they're not divided equally, because there's 25% in Chapter 1, and there's 25% in Chapter 5. And then the remaining 50% is split between the Chapters 2, 3, and 4. Aw, have a good night, Owls! Thanks for stopping in!
Riku, you do know the way, right?
Riku, are we in trouble?
I think Chapter 4 is the shortest chapter. I think there's only like 15% in Chapter 4, but it's also notoriously the easiest chapter to mess up, so I will be saving quite a bit. Oh, we got stuck in the desert. We're lost. Yeah, I know, we almost died in it.
to move the camp to escape a sandstorm. We could have looked forever and never found it.
Oh! What? Sounds like there's a big sandstorm coming in. It's probably too big for the airship to handle.
I guess we won't be leaving the way we came.
Ikuduns, Erida Kaduns. I'm busy, so make it fast, okay? I've got lots to excavate and no one to do it.
Yuni, show her Gippal's letter.
Oh, so you're the new guys.
That's us.
Nice to meet you.
I guess the High Summoner's hard up too. Well, don't be expecting any special treatment.
Right.
Let's get to it then. Here's where we are. And here is where you're headed.
Oh, but it's so far.
We'll send you out there by hover. Go talk to the pilot about it.
Right, we're gonna go digging. We'll be doing a lot of this in Chapter 5, but in order to ensure that we get full percentage later, it's probably best for us only to do this one required dig, and then not do any more digging until Chapter 5. So, don't worry, you dig heads who want to see all the digging. We'll be doing it, just much later. Hey, sweet cakes? Okay. So the goal of these is to dig up the yellow X, and sometimes the yellow X is not always visible from the start. You have to dig up the yellow X and then return to the hover before time runs out. Now, you can do certain amounts of digs and then try to get a raise and get more money, but we are not going to do that just in case we accidentally do too many digs and then we cannot get full percentage later. We don't want that to happen. I wish it was like the Knuckles levels. I wish there was like an Emerald. There was like a treasure monitor. That would be really cool. Sometimes if you dig up the white X's, you can get all kinds of stuff. Notably, later on in the game, you can dig up whatever Albed primers you didn't get earlier. It's not like the first game, where particular Albed primers are in particular places. It's more like you do particular things and then receive a random Albed primer, and then you can dig up whatever you're missing later on. So like we talked to Gippal and we got like Albed Primer 13 or whatever. Primer is a key item, and it's a little book that helps us translate Albed. And so every time anybody's been speaking Albed, if you've seen any of the letters be pink, that's because those are the Albed primers that we know. And so each one teaches a particular letter. And so any of the pink text is text that we've translated, and then any of the kind of whitish blue text is text that we don't know how to translate yet.
Just what we needed. You're good.
What'd you expect?
Don't let it go to your head.
So when they were all speaking Albed a minute ago, there were a few letters that were pink. That's because we had the appropriate primer.
Yes! Thank you.
Yeah, the first game did this too. They did it a bit more traditionally, where you found the Albed primers in order in particular places. But this game, it's more like it just gives you a random Albed primer after particular events, and then you can go dig up the rest later. But what's also cool about this and also the first game is that if you have all the Albed primers from a previous file, this game allows you to do a traditional New Game Plus. And then the first game, you can synthesize Albed primers from a previous file. So if you gathered all of them in a previous file, you could just do that and then have all of them from the beginning of the game.
Come back anytime you like. We'll be here.
So we did one successful dig, so we should now be at 18.2%. I'm just rotating through these save files in case we mess up at any point, then we have a relatively recent save file to go back to. Because that is what I learned from last stream, and that's why we had to listen to Machin give us his lore story twice. So next on our list is Bevelle. And some of you might remember from the last game, Bevelle is essentially the capital of Spira. This is where we had the fight with Seymour 2.
Even today, it's also the place where I was born. I suppose that makes it my hometown, but I can't say that I have a lot of fond memories here.
So this is fun to do. So the High Bridge is not a new location, but in the first game you only ever saw it at night, so it looks a little bit different. There are a lot of new locations in Bevelle in this game specifically, so this is a location they expanded on. And of course, Yuna is a giant celebrity.
High Summoner. I see you finally decided to join New Yevon. You do us much honor, my lady. Lord Braska, may he rest in peace, would be proud. I will summon the Praetor immediately. I beg your leave.
I like how she said nothing and they're like, oh, so you're ready to join our political movement.
We should leave.
Hey, what's the matter, Uni?
Well, you see, there was this arrangement, with the son of the chairman of New Yevon. I turned the offer down, but I thought it'd be kind of awkward.
Yeah, in the movie that takes place between the games, there was an offer of Yuna to have an arranged marriage, which she said no to, but that's why she's so nervous. So ominous.
A pleasure, Lady Yuna. I am Baralai, Praetor of New Yevon.
So, you're the chairman's son?
Ah, as it happens, the chairman has recently resigned, as did his son, the Praetor. They were trying to take too much power. We had to ask them to leave. Now the younger members run the party, by mutual consensus, of course.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So you see, Lady Yuna, it is not I that was meant to marry the High Summoner.
Oh, my.
Not that we wouldn't appreciate your support. On the contrary, we'd be most welcome. I understand if your feelings toward Yevon are mixed.
That's a polite word for it.
But I would hope that you could put that aside and join our cause. The world is changing, and there are many who are finding it difficult to keep up. New Yevon wishes to help those who feel lost in the winds of change. If you'll excuse me, there are matters which require my attention. Should you come across any spheres of Spear's past, please do let us know. My lady?
So, what do you think?
What? Pain?
I think I've heard enough. What now?
So that was all we had to do here. Oops. I was looking at my list and didn't realize I was just running into that woman. So we should now be 18.8%. And now we're about to do something very interesting because there is sort of a game spanning side quest that we need to get started on. Kind of wish I had done that before last stream so I could have been working on that in the background as well, but oh well, it is what it is. Y'all get to come along with me. And what it is we are going to start to spread the word about something fun that is happening in the Calmlands. And to do that, we have to talk to people from all over the world. And in order to do that, I have a whole other guide up here, making sure that I do it correctly, because I used to have a physical guide for this game, the Brady Games guide, and it had, like, a map in it that would help me do it correctly. But now there's just a guide on Steam that I'm going to be using. So let's go to the Calmlands and see what's up.
The Calmlands. Many summoners used to cross these plains, their hearts heavy with the weight of their pilgrimage. I was no different, but the Calmlands we knew changed.
I think so too. The amount of trial and error it must have taken.
Ooh, I love these games.
I have 100 Argent credits.
However, I will let the chat vote on this. It actually does not matter which company I publicize for. I just have to pick one of them and raise it to level 5. So, our choices are Open Air and Argent. Personally, I think the... Oops, I'm sorry. Personally, I think that the Open Air advertising messages are funnier, but I will let y'all choose purely based off of vibes which company I should advertise for. And I'm not an affiliate, so I can't do a poll, but I will look at chat and see which of those names, which of those vibes strikes y'all. Oh, that is a cool idea. I can see why you'd think that. No, it's just because we have particular primers that translate the letters. And the more of them that we gather, the more of the language that we're going to understand. Oops. Well, I really wanted it to cast Blaster on me so that my girls could learn that ability. But it's alright. Sure, we'll encounter another one. Oh, I still can't catch the chocobo. Makes me sad.
That's it?
Okay, so the person on the left represents open air. The person on the right represents Argent. So do we have any thoughts about what company we want to advertise for? Because if y'all don't have any input, I'm going to pick open air because I think their advertising prompts are funnier. But this is one of the few choices that chat can make, so I wanted to ask for your input. Literally the only difference is that whatever I'm going to pitch my company to people and the prompts that I use are going to change. That's like the difference. Argent is kind of more old school and open air is kind of new school, and I think they have very funny pitches. But all I have to do to get 100% is pick either of them and then raise it to level 5. So one of the few choices that does not actually affect, as long as you make the choice, it does not actually affect your 100% completion. Alright, let's do open air then. Sign me up. Just use Square to publicize us all over Spira. You got it. And now I want to ride the hover to the travel agency because there is a related side quest that is not actually relevant to 100%, but when you do it, you get one of the best accessories in the game. So I'm gonna do it. Hey there, purty lady. You wants to marry my son? That's him, fruit of my loins. He's what you'd call a home buddy. Makes it mighty hard to find him a wife. So how's about it? Wants to get hitched? No, I don't. Well, I can't blame you none for that. But if I could ask just one more thing, would you mind going out and helping me find a wife for my son? It oughts to be simple enough work. All you gots to do is travel around Spira and tell the women folk about my son. We gots a deal? Why not? Well, tan my hide and call me a shoe puff. I knew it couldn't hurt none to ask. So, you can do this alongside the publicity campaign, so it's very easy. Now get out there and do me proud. They didn't voice that guy for whatever reason, so I wanted to flex my voice acting muscles. Now we should be at 19% exactly. Let me pull up this file and look. Actually, we'll just board the airship and look. We're rocking and rolling today, gamers. We get 19% exactly. So now we're going to go back to a few past locations we've been to, now that we have the option to publicize. And we're going to start publicizing. So this might be a little bit tedious while I do this, but it's going to be worth it. Oh, hold on, I won't speed through the menu next time. I will let y'all read the options of the pitches that we're giving people. I like open air, get your air on. That one's so funny. To this lady, I am supposed to do this one. And then these are the matchmaking prompts. Now, funny enough, you can pitch this to dudes if you want to, like applicable dude, because it's not everybody in Spira that will respond to you. You can pitch the offer to particular men, and it'll say, strange, he doesn't seem interested, which I think is so funny. Well, I'm not going to do this on a kid, because he is a kid. I think it's this lady. Or I think this is a man. Which I just think is really funny. Strange. He doesn't seem interested. You. And then there's a woman up here. Some of this is muscle memory because I've played this game so many times. But yeah, I am looking at a guide. Don't ask me how you're supposed to know otherwise. how to get the best response from everybody, because I don't know. It would be so much trial and error because you're only allowed to make the pitch to the same person once per chapter. So if you messed up, you'd have to wait until the next chapter. And then this man as well, and then that should be everybody of Luca. There are a ton of people on the Mihen High Road, but I don't have skip encounters yet, so I may run away from a lot of encounters just to expedite the process. Wait, there's a safe sphere over here. But yeah, before Chapter 5 begins, we must raise the level of either company to Chapter 5. Or, not Chapter 5, to Level 5. So the best way to do that is to speak to people in every chapter. So now that we've activated that, we'll be killing multiple birds with one stone when we go on missions now, because I will also be looking for the people that I can advertise to. There are quite a few people on the Mihen High Road. It's a good thing I got my handy-dandy guide here. I do wish I had the skip encounters accessory on, because then I just wouldn't have to worry about that, but I don't, because I don't have one yet. I probably will run away from a lot of these encounters, so I will take this opportunity to ask how y'all are doing. How's your weekend going? Myself, I think after stream I will be making some rice. Sometimes you just want a bowl of rice, you know? And have some rice and veggies, I think. You know, to make this go even faster, I think I'm going to make Riku a thief, if it's on her grid. It is. And we'll just have her flee, because she has first strike. Jesus Christ, that was like 4 steps later. So Oversoul is something that was introduced in this game. Every enemy has like a classification. So like Iron Giants is one, for example. And if you defeat a certain number of enemies of that classification, then the next one you encounter will be oversold. And it will have a much more HP, it will have access to new abilities, and it will be much harder to defeat. However, defeating every single possible oversold enemy will result in you getting one of the best garment grids in the game, which I have never done, despite the many times that I have played this game. Because it is really hard to encounter every single oversold enemy. This is sort of a POV of what I was doing off stream, except I was actually fighting the battles. That's true. Later on, I might go on a full Oversoul run and, like, try to encounter every single oversold enemy. Later on in the game, we will have to do a dungeon called the Via Infinito, in which you encounter tons and tons of enemies, so that might be the place to do that. Game is gonna crack wide open once I get the skip encounters accessory. See how this keeps trying to oversoul? That is going to continue to happen every time I encounter one of those enemies until I defeat one. And then the oversoul counter resets. I believe? Question mark? Yes. Look at my guide. Two of the areas which are Besaid and Kilika, that there are people in that you can advertise to, I will not be going to, because there are required missions later in the chapter where I will be in those places, and so I'm just going to save it for that. And also I'm going to reset everybody's dress spheres back to normal while I'm thinking about it. Black Mage and White Mage are especially important to learn because there are multiple accessories and garment grids that will allow you to access those abilities regardless of what dress sphere you were currently wearing. So that's neat. That's nifty. Oh right, I'm gonna put Riku back to a thief because I remembered why I did that. Nope. There we go. You know what? I'm gonna use one of my Aga spells and I'm gonna try to defeat this thing. There we go. This is really the area that we have to walk through, this and the old road. There are parts we can skip because there's nobody there. Try to get a little bit of experience along the way.
Smoking's bad for you.
My hair used to be a lot longer, and I used to try to wear it like Riku did in this game. It's really hard to get your hair up like that, though. Because there's just so many braids in it. Oops. Meant to do that. Ooh, that's gonna come in handy later. To have somebody who knows that skill. Excalibur is one of the few ways of dealing holy damage in this game. And there's going to be a required encounter later that is very weak to holy. You can do the same thing too, where you cast one spell on every enemy, but the more enemies there are, the weaker each spell will get.
No problem.
So at the agency, there's going to be a few people we can talk to, and then we can ride a hover to sort of expedite the process just a little bit. And there's 2 people inside we can talk to. From here, we'll revisit Djose and the Moonflow and Guadosalam and Macalania, and that'll be everybody in the non-required locations. We'll do some more when we're in the required locations later this chapter. It is technically possible, I have heard, to get a level 5 for both companies before Chapter 5. If you switch at any point, it'll burn half of your points bank for the other company. And I just find it so difficult to do that I don't think it's worth it. You only have to raise the level for one company to level 5, and I'm not out to make getting 100% any harder than it has to be. Let's see. You say. Alright, you say, what do you need? There's 3 more people to talk to here. I tried to calculate this, but it's a little bit tricky because the known calculations that I have, the known calculations that there are to, like, complete the game is, like, the minimum, or sorry, let me try that again. When I have my document laid out and it says, like, plus whatever, that is based off of area and not based off of, like, individual actions that you take. And so it's hard for me to guess the absolute minimum percent because I don't know what percentage, like, individual actions are worth. I only know what percentage, like, the entire area for that chapter is worth, if that makes sense. And so sometimes it, like, includes required things and sometimes it doesn't. But I did try to do the math on this and I think I came up with 45%. Might be the absolute minimum. And so there's, like, tons and tons of extra stuff. I do want to do a minimum percent run one of these days, where I might not stream it, but I do want to, like, see for myself the absolute, I will only do exactly what is required of me run, and see what that number ends up being. This person needs... Story missions are often worth more than the optional content, like, individually. So, like, when we're gonna go to Besaid in a little bit, and that whole section, I believe, is worth 3 points something. But, there are points in time where you can lock yourself out of missions. So, for example, if I do both of the Besaid and then the Zanarkand missions, the only option I have at that point is to go to Kilika, and I lock myself out of going literally anywhere else, which is why sequencing becomes really important when you're doing 100%. The same thing will happen at the end of Chapter 2, where after I visit Guadosalam, I will be prompted to go to Bevelle, and I cannot select another destination, so I must go to Bevelle after that point. Which is why it's very important to make sure that you do everything you possibly can before you trigger any of the required missions. These were all of the people on the high road that we needed to speak to. A lot of the other people... This isn't every single person, but it is the vast majority of them. And getting level 5 publicity does not require you to get every single publicity point. Even though this game is a bit ticky-tack in that regard, it's not that ticky-tack. So we are out of here. The next save sphere I find, and a lot of the other places that I have to go to, do not have very many, if any, encounters, so it'll go much faster. And then we'll be ready to go to Mount Gagazet, and then after that, do the story missions for the chapter, and I think by the time we finish all that, that'll be a good place to wrap up stream for today. I actually really like Yuna's warrior outfit. It's one of my favorite dressphere designs in the game. Now, because we've been doing all this extra stuff and all of this leveling, by the time we do get to the mandatory missions, they're going to be a piece of cake. Going to be an absolute breeze. Okay. Return to Djose Temple. Let's advertise to some people there. when I had my Brady Games guide to do this, it had like actual like pictures of the maps and it showed you where everybody was and what the options were to say, and it was so cool, and I'm so sad that I got rid of that guide. Brady Games had some solid guides. I also had a Brady Games guide to, actually I do still have one to Final Fantasy 13, and there was also one to 13 too. That was really, really good because it had like a, not a min-maxing, but it had like a stat optimization guide because of the way leveling works in that game. And um, that was really cool, and that was always really fun to follow. Okay, we'll go check in at the Moonflow at Guadosalam real quick, and then there's like 2 people in Macalania, and we're ready to move on. Welcome, Halanala. Thank you. I love this hat. I did it to evoke the Black Mage dressphere. I am modeling myself after a different dressphere every time that I play. This is a charity stream that I am doing. I'm participating in an event called Padres Pedal the Cause, which raises money for cancer research. And I have this cute little bot command that if at any point anybody watching feels so inclined to donate, I do so appreciate your generosity, and it's a wonderful cause, so that would be how you would do that. Otherwise, I am playing one of my favorite games of all time, which is Final Fantasy X-2, and we are attempting to get a perfect 100% run. Which, for anybody who is familiar with this game, it is a very difficult thing to do, and I have so many guides open to make sure that we are doing things correctly. We also go here. And then we ride the shoe puff, I think. Or do we talk to him, or do we ride? No, we ride.
Ride the shoe puff.
Yes.
All aboard!
I've already decided what dressphere I'm going to model my look after next time, but y'all are just gonna have to stay tuned. This lady gets... We're actually just going to walk to Guadosalam because that is easier. We might get, like, a random encounter or 2 that I can just run away from. Yes, we are. It's always nice to see new faces in here.
Is it?
I am leaving. This guy is nasty looking. Right? We got a few people here in Guadosalam that we can talk to. Oh, not there. This way. Okay. And then finally, we're going to make a very quick re-jaunt over to Macalania, and then we'll be ready to move on. Okay, that is everybody we need to talk to for the present moment. Let's move on and go visit Mount Gagazet. We did a lot of our shilling. We did most of our shilling for Chapter 1. We'll do a little bit more during the required missions, but we've done a lot of our shilling for now. And we'll move on to the last non-required place of this chapter, which is Mount Gagazet. Show me shill!
The Ronsos still live here, on Mount Gagazet. Kimari is their elder now.
Riku, are you not freezing right now?
To unite his people. Still, it seems much quieter here than it used to be. Maybe because summoners no longer come here to climb the sacred mountain. Kimari!
Here's Kimari.
Kimari glad.
How you been, Kimari? What's it like being an elder?
Elder's job difficult. Kimari troubled.
I just jumped in.
Elder Lian and Aid not here. Children have left mountain, gone to search for Elder's horn.
What's going on?
Lian and Aid still pups, but bear Ronso future. Say they search for a way to fix Kimari's broken horn. If Kimari act like true elder, these things not happen. Maybe so.
Kimari?
High Summoner Yuna, it is Garrick's honor.
Nice to meet you.
Garrick know Yuna saved Spira, but Ronso not saved yet. Huh? Kimari worried about Lian and Aid, but Kimari cannot leave mountain. If Yuna find Lian and Aid, bring them back to Gagazet.
This way.
Yuna?
Is everything okay?
Kimari troubled. Ronso youth grow horns of hatred for Guado. Yuna. Kimari sorry. Whining make Kimari small.
Cheer up, Kimari.
So later on, if you assuage enough of the Ronso concerns, it makes a certain boss fight easier. And I'm going to go off of memory on this one, because this actually has nothing to do with 100%. does just make the fight easier. I think it's... People of the Far North was one of my favorite soundtracks, but this one's fine. There's one Ronso that is hiding here. Okay, so we should now be at, let's see, according to my little chart, we should be at 19.4, and it is now time to do some actual required story stuff. At long last, basically all of that was not required. All right, let's go to Besaid. Let's go to my old hometown of Besaid Island for our first required mission since we explored the ruins on Gagazet at the very beginning.
Slice and dice is very nice.
I like how Riku slices with her sword. Here we go, Besaid Village.
This must be how a runaway feels after finally coming home. This is the first time I've returned to Besaid since my journey began.
Oh, and we're gonna have to write down some numbers, I just remembered. So I'll have y'all help me with that.
I'm a little nervous.
I bet. The way you took off without a word.
Yeah, you said it. You caused quite a fuss, young lady.
I'm sorry.
Well, as long as you're okay, yeah? Your friend?
Oh, this is Pain. We're looking for spheres together.
So, you're a sphere hunter now. I heard the rumors. To tell you the truth, I wasn't too worried. Gotta say, though, you, do seem pretty different.
Oh, you haven't changed a bit, Tubby.
Riku, that was uncalled for.
Cut it out, yeah? I'm gonna be a father soon. Got to have a little more presence, you know?
Somehow, he landed Lulu in the interim.
Wakka, a daddy!
To tell the truth, I sure don't feel like one. I mean, how do I know how a father's supposed to act in front of his kid?
Why not just do what your parents did?
Don't remember him. Sin saw to that when I was still little.
You don't have any spheres of them?
Nope, not a single... Oh.
What's wrong?
Oh, nothing. Anyway, do me a favor and go say hi to Lou. She's been worried about you. Get going.
Let's do some shilling before we go talk to Lulu. I want to say... Okay, and then man in the house, this house. And then this lady. And then our friend Keepa in here. And then one more. I do like the new Besaid theme a lot. Okay, now we'll continue the mission. No more shilling. That's right, because Lulu is pregnant in this game, and they just did not make a new model for her. So it's a little awkward.
So, tell us about the baby. It's gonna be born soon, right?
Not yet. Wakka's getting a little ahead of himself.
Ah, bummer.
So, care to go for a little walk?
Can you?
I could use the exercise. Come on.
I feel like the least they could have done is made a new character model.
So, what's so important that you'd run off without telling us?
This.
The sphere. Wakka told me about it.
This is the one that we watched earlier to make sure that we got that percentage completion.
Kimari said he found it on Mount Gagazet.
It does look like him, though something seems a little off. Have you found anything?
Nothing. But there's still a lot of places we haven't looked yet.
Must be fun, being free to go where you please.
It is fun. I never expected a journey quite like this.
I'm not there, so you can spread your wings?
Maybe.
You have spread your wings. Well, good luck. But, Yuna, never forget who you are. You're the High Summoner that defeated Sin. There are those who would use that, Yuna.
I'll be alright. I won't let myself be used anymore. Not by anyone.
Got a heating pad in my chair to help me stay warm. I'm getting a little cold.
I wanna feel.
Since you've come all this way, why not stay the night?
Said this before, but I absolutely love Yuna's outfit in this game. I love the colors. I absolutely love her little skirt thing. I think he just wanted to incorporate them in Kingdom Hearts 2 somehow. And that was just what he came up with. And it's kind of a pun on Gull Wings, I guess, because they call themselves the Gull Wings. Now they actually have wings and they can fly. They did have to censor their outfits for a cage, too, which I find very funny.
Good morning.
Oh, where's Wakka?
I know, but they have Riku's scarf serve as wings, and then they add little tiny wings to the bottom of Yuna's ponytail as well.
Want us to go find out?
Yeah, there might be fiends.
Thanks. Though I doubt he'd have trouble handling a few fiends. Still, I'm a little worried. It's not like Wakka to hide things.
That's funny. I don't remember there being any cave.
I don't know much about it either. Would you mind asking around?
They should be, yeah. I don't think anybody changed. So our first required story mission of our adventure here. Where's Wakka? Oh, we're gonna find him. And since we're a little bit over-leveled for Besaid, all of these encounters are gonna be a breeze. So here's our first number. 6. See, it's a good thing I already know this, and we could just breeze right through this. But if you ask around, they will tell you, oh, I hear there's ciphers in different places that you can use to open the cave. Like, the game does tell you this. I just jumped to it because I already knew.
Any trouble?
We're fine. How about you guys?
My heart is
I go this way to be centered, or do I go the other way? No, this is good.
No problem.
Literally no problem. 1-hit kill, probably. 2-hit kill. 3-hit kill.
Ashes to ashes.
4-hit kill. Oh, thank you. I'm happy to be here. I'm having a great time doing this. I love this game, and I love sharing it with new people.
Bring it, punk.
The discourse on this game, I think this game, to my knowledge, has been received more favorably the longer it's gone on. This game can certainly be divisive, especially since 10 is so beloved, but, you know, I've always really liked it. I like the tone, I like the dresspheres, I like the combat, and I just think it's a really cool way to explore the world in a way that you didn't get to in the first game, because now that the specter of sin is gone forever, it makes sense that the entire world would have to so radically change as a result of that. And I think this game tackled that in a pretty interesting way. You've already seen whispers of new political factions that have formed, because if you remember the first game, political factions didn't really exist because everybody just kind of had Sin to think about. There wasn't really time for politics, but now there is, and I like that the game sort of went with that. That's an 8. Treasure's back here. High potion. 1,000 gil. We will need to pay off Wakka's debt for Chapter 3, but provided that I'm willing to reset a couple of times in Chapter 2, and I am, there's a very easy way to make a whole lot of gil in Guadosalam in Chapter 2. So I will do that to pay off the debt if I haven't paid it off by then.
Huh. That was weird.
It's nothing.
And our last number is going to be over here on the other side of the beach. And another 6. So it should be 6486 to get into the cave. So let's go try it. Alright, let's see if this is the correct order of the numbers. If not, I'm going to switch the order of the last two, and that should do it. So let's see. Oh! The game also just tells you. I swear that the PS2 version did not do this. I swear that you used to have to, like, both know the numbers and then guess which one went in which place.
Something wrong?
We came to check on you.
Is there something in this cave?
Yeah, something like that. Who knows? Maybe it's not here, yeah? But I thought, what if? Maybe it's for real. Then again, maybe it never was. Been so long, I'm not sure anymore.
So, you're saying there's something that might be here and you want to know for sure, right?
Right. But you see, I want to know, and then I sort of don't want to know.
Oh, man. Make up your mind. What is this thing anyway?
Well, see, I heard there was this old spear.
A sphere? Of what?
A spear of, you know. What does it matter? Hey, whoa!
We're sphere hunters, remember?
It's as good as ours.
All right.
That's
go
right, I
Wings.
always forget they share a voice actor.
Time for business.
The Gull-Wings, huh?
This is brother. You alright, Yuna?
Yes, sir.
Probably is what he's doing while we're off fighting this boss.
Find the sphere and the fiends appear. A trial.
Oh, one hit kill.
Child's
I
play.
literally didn't expect it to be a one hit kill.
One more for the goings!
I got a new dressphere, the White Mage. Which the White Mage is the counterpart to the Black Mage, and it's sort of analogous to what Yuna's role was in the first game. So that's all the healing spells and the protective magic, all that fun stuff.
Find anything?
We sure did. Let's take a look. This it?
Nah, afraid not.
So, what sphere were you looking for?
Well, it's a spear of our parents. Chapu said he found it.
Chapu? Oh, your brother!
He was a crusader. Now he's gone on to the Farplane. Sin got our parents not long after Chapu was born. We were both too young to remember their faces, you know? When we were kids, we got into a fight one time, and Chapu said, I found a sphere with Mom and Dad in it, but I'm not telling you where it is.
And you never asked him?
I was too boneheaded to let my little brother win. So I went on without asking until I just forgot about it. Then yesterday, talking with you made me think about it again. Chapu used to play in this cave, so I thought maybe he found the sphere here, yeah? But when I came to look, I got to thinking.
About what?
See, I got this picture of my parents in my head, yeah? Strong and kind. Whenever things got tough, those are the parents I imagined. But their real faces might be totally different, yeah? I think about that, and I'm not so sure I really want to know. I was sitting there trying to figure out what to do, and then you guys showed up.
Oh, that's our Wakka.
The sphere might still be somewhere on the island. Should we look for it?
Nah, that's all right. I'm through worrying about that stuff. What's past is past, yeah? Can't let it get to me. I'm going to be a father soon. Gotta pull it together.
That's right, Dad.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. But, just how am I supposed to pull it together? Sure wish I had something to go by, you know?
You read me? You guys about finished down there? Brother's starting to get on my nerves.
Yeah, we'll be back soon.
I love the brothers just constantly yelling. So now, Having completed that mission, that was worth 2.2%. So we've completed our first required mission of this chapter. So we should now be at 21.6. So if it says 21, then I have to assume we're good. We're going to move on to Zanarkand, which is our other required mission before there's one final mission that will finish off chapter 1.
That night, the seven of us. I've never talked about it. I didn't want to share my memories. I wanted to keep that feeling, this place, within me forever. Now look at it.
A tourist attraction.
Whose idea was that?
I wonder. This is our first time seeing what's become of Zanarkand, and so anybody who's a little bit familiar with the first game will probably recognize the place where we are. This is the famous intro scene. And I know a lot of you are coming over here that are familiar with KH, Kingdom Hearts, so here's a voice you'll recognize.
So much I hardly recognize you. Remember me?
It's good to see you again, Isaru.
I'm honored that you remember me.
Why are you here?
Ah, yes. I've been helping Sid with his work.
Don't look at me.
I guide people through Zanarkand, once the most sacred of places. People come from all over Spira, sphere hunters too.
Oh.
Ah, what the heck is Pop thinking?
I can see this is upsetting you. But this is a place of great historical importance for all of Spira.
I know, but still. I never wanted anyone else to stand there.
Yuna?
Nothing. Forget it.
If you say so. Ah, I must be getting to work now.
Correct? This is Quentin Flynn.
Take care, Yuna.
He was also Quentin Flynn in the first game. God, the cursed meme scene is gonna happen in a minute.
Taro, Hana, you ready? What was the clue again? Come on, it's key. All right, let's head out. Yes, sir. Which way? That way. Yes.
So the file we just saved over, I'm gonna probably leave where it is in perpetuity, in case I did end up missing something in chapter 1, and then I have to go back. Because after we do this mission, I believe it locks me into going to Kilika. And I wouldn't be able to go back and get whatever it was that I missed, although I should be good. But you never know with this freaking game.
Piece of cake. I'm on a roll.
I believe this child is voiced by Cree Summer, and there are other characters in this game voiced by Cree Summer as well.
Nice to meet you, Lady Yuna.
What are you doing here? There are fiends around.
Fiends? Ha! Uh-huh, that's right. We're sphere hunters. The Kindergardians! The Kindergardians! You here on some kind of treasure?
They're like 8 years old.
So he must be a clue to finding the treasure.
Uh-huh, that's right. Shh. We paid 15 whole gil for that. Come on, let's go. Kindergardians, move out. See you, Lady Yuna.
15 gil for a clue?
I'm on a roll.
No, thank you.
Come in. Do you read me? Oh, hey, I wanted to double check that clue. It's Mon, right? Now,
Totally
just
not
what I heard
James
some
Arnold
kids saying
Taylor.
was key. Yeah, I figured it was Mon. Over and out.
The clues are Key and Mon.
What? The Gullwings?
Keymon?
Monkey!
There it is. There it is. I need to turn that into an emote or something. Because that would be a great first emote for the channel, if I could figure out how to do that.
No problem.
Maybe that's something I'm thinking about this now. Maybe something I can do off screen is, since I do really want to play this game when I'm not playing it, is I could do a new file off screen where I only do the required missions and see how minimum percent and minimum dress spheres, because you will definitely not get all of the dress spheres if you do. And so that could be a fun challenge as well, seeing how few dress spheres I would have to work with. Because in order to truly see what the minimum percentage is, it can't be a New Game Plus, because your percentage does carry over from the New Game Plus. And so I would have to start a brand new game, no dress spheres, anything like that. That would be fun to see, I think.
That's it?
No matter what option you choose, they'll attack you. Now, I believe Pain knows all of her black magic abilities, so I think I'm gonna keep her as a black mage for now, though. She knows all of the, like, practical abilities, but she needs to learn level 2 and level 3, which makes her cast spells a heck of a lot faster once I select them. So that's neat. You know what? Let's overkill. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna cast a level 3 water gun on these fools.
Hold your breath.
Fun to end the battle like that. So now we are inside Zanarkand Temple, which was a very tense location in the last game, if you remember, because we fought the Spectral Keeper here, and then underneath we fought Lady Unaleska, which is a very, very famous battle from the first game. So lots of important stuff happened here. And these monkeys, oh, we'll get to these monkeys later. We did fight Yuna, that's right. Or rather, we fought Yuna's namesake, Lady Unaleska, who was the first person to defeat Sin.
Welcome! Well, I'll be if it isn't Yuna!
All right, Sid, you want to retake that. It sounds like your voice is giving out.
To buy a clue from Uncle Sid, have you? Huh?
Turning this place into a gift shop? Hello?
What, you got a bone to pick?
I have to say, you bet I do.
So, what's eating you?
Well, I can't really say, but it's just not right.
Huh?
Oh, it's like us turning the ruins of home into a theme park.
Huh? I see your point. Yeah.
Every chapter, there's always 6 treasure chests in here, which is nice. The treasure chests are largely in the same place in this game. They just, they tend to refill at the beginning of the chapter, and then they have different treasures in them.
We cast off our beliefs here.
Hi, Allie! Glad to see that you made it. Welcome, welcome. I am winning. We've gotten through a lot of percentage today.
Who's there?
We have this and one more mission to wrap up chapter 1.
This far, sphere hunters. But you will not have the treasure you seek so easily.
So we fight.
If you want the treasure, you must speak the password.
Password? The clues?
Oh, I know. The password is monkey.
Yes, good. Okay, so now tell me, what is the meaning of life?
So I wish I could let chat vote on the answer, but in order to get 100%, you do have to say this. So, but I will let you all look at all of the other answers.
Isaru?
Hey, that sort of does sound like Isaru.
Again, monkeys.
Is that your final answer?
That was a heck of a voice crack there, Quentin.
Show yourself, Isaru.
Fine.
Fine.
What are you doing?
My job. I bring excitement to those who've come to see this sacred place. I too once traveled with the hope of seeing this place someday. Working here somehow fulfills that wish.
I see.
I must apologize for the quiz. Here's something for your trouble.
Hey, a garment grid. I don't know why or how he has that, but
And remember, the ruins of Zanarkand will be waiting.
Ex-summoners come in all flavors.
they sure do.
Apparently so.
We done here?
The sphere Oscillo finder picked up a signal. There should still
The
be a
what?
nearby.
Oh.
Right.
Okay, let's try this again.
This is technically a new location, but they also reuse it later for a different desert thing. Like, we kind of have to admire how creative they were with the assets for this game. Like, they had a lot to work with, and one of the things that differentiates this game from the first is that you actually have access to the airship from the beginning, so you can basically go anywhere you want. And that's really neat.
So what's next?
What the heck? That was like 2 steps after the last one.
Aha! Found ya!
We're not alone.
Think we need a password?
How about kick its ass?
Oh, Pain said ass!
Takers, keepers.
Let's try this. A lot of the enemies in this game are also reused assets from the first game. So I would imagine that most of the development time was just to creating the new character models for all the dresspheres and like all the story cutscenes and stuff like that.
What? It's only half a sphere.
All that for nothing.
Well, it can't hurt to take it with us.
I can't believe how much this place has changed.
That puts us at... Where did my thing go? Right here. It puts us at... What's the percentage? Should be 23.4 now. So we are wrapping up chapter 1.
What's awesome?
We're getting reports of an awesome sphere. Looks like
Awesome sphere.
quite a crowd. The reports are from Kilika Woods.
That's why I didn't go to Kilika earlier, because I knew that we'd wrap up the chapter by going here.
Who is the leader? I am. I give the orders around here.
We're listening.
Let's go! Party! Party!
Yep, like I said, see, I'm pushing the buttons and I cannot go anywhere else. So there are points where you do become locked. And so I can only go to Kilika and I will not be able to return the airship. So we now have 23.6 after watching that cutscene.
It's Kilika Port.
We're going to do a little more shilling. We're going to complete the mission here. We'll end up with 25%. And we'll be wrapping up chapter 1.
At the time, everyone was grateful, but lately, well, there have been signs of trouble.
I planned to wrap up around 8, but I'm having a good time, and I also do want to finish chapter 1 and make the big decision that begins chapter 2, because I think that will be a fantastic and natural stopping point. So, we will do that. It is a long chapter 1. The percentage in this game is not evenly divided. There are 5 total chapters, but 25% of the game's completion, if you do everything, is in chapter 1, and then another 25% of the game's completion is in chapter 5. And the remaining 50% is spread out between chapters 2, 3, and 4. And this place, now I will say that even though this location is technically a place we have visited before, hold on, which one does this guy get? 5? This location is entirely new, because if y'all remember from the first game, Kilika got completely wiped out by Sin at the beginning of the first game. And so they took a little bit of creative liberty with that, and this is how they chose to rebuild. And this guy gets... I was looking at the wrong part. Okay. I'll do this in chapter 3, but you can get a garment grid that way. Let's... Cannot do that. Thought I could. Good thing I know my way around here, because Kilika can be a little confusing at first. Not quite as bad as Altissia from Final Fantasy 15. That place takes a long time to get used to. But Kilika could be a little tricky too.
this up and someone will beat us to it.
Sorry. Sorry. Hey.
Well, and the map isn't very good either. I will say. I do think Altissia needs a much better map for how difficult it can be to navigate. This guy as well, I think. There are two things we have to do here. We have to complete the mission, and we also have to go speak to an old friend who lives here.
My. Fine, have it your way. Go on.
Y'all might remember this guy from the first game. Donna! Yuna's like, I think we're witnessing a breakup right now.
Well, look who we have here.
Good to see you.
What's with Bartello?
Oh, nothing out of the ordinary. I am with the Youth League, and he is with New Yevon. It makes living together rather difficult.
Oh. But you've been together so long.
To each his own.
Exactly. Butt out.
You're cool, but I will rob your house. Thanks for the 1,500 gil that I will use to pay off Wakka's debt. Okay, so we spoke to... literally two things are here. Speak to Donna in her hut, and defeat the boss and clear the mission. That's what you do here in Chapter 1. Also Shilling. You also do Shilling. And then, if I want to get a really cool garment grid and some cool treasures later, then every chapter that I have access to Kilika Island, I should request to look at the new Youth League base. Because if I do this in Chapter 1, 3, and 5, in Chapter 5, he'll be like, yeah, you want to go over there? And then you can go over there, and then there's a bunch of treasures. Things I learned from my Brady Games guide that I once had. So we have met the leader of New Yevon, that was Baralai, who we spoke to earlier in Bevelle. We have met the leader of the Machine faction, that was Gippal, that we spoke to at Djose. And now we're meeting the leader of the Youth League, the unfortunately named and unfortunately designed Nuge. So I'll let y'all see what you think about this man.
These are all sphere hunters?
I don't think so.
Look over there. Who's that?
Maven of the Youth League, right?
Greetings, friends.
You really should.
An important sphere is hidden in Kilika Temple. A sphere documenting the true history of Spira. We are here today to demand that New Yevon make the contents of that sphere public. Yet, as always, the voice seeking truth goes ignored. My friends, I ask you, why? Because New Yevon wants to hide the truth, just as the temples did before them. I tell you now, this has gone on long enough. My friends, stand with me, and together we will bring the truth back to the people. But let's not overdo it. Our opponents aren't as young as they used to be.
Not exactly what I had expected.
Yuna's like, he's mid.
So what now? Call it quits?
Don't know about you, but I could use an awesome sphere.
Okay. They can't decide who it belongs to. I say we make it our own.
He kind of is, Allie. Like, I don't think he ever rises above just some dude. Am I confusing the other mission that you do here in Kilika later? Because I seem to remember having to sneak through. Oh yeah, that's in Chapter 3. See? I've played this game dozens of times, and even I get confused by what happens when. Hi, Greenie! I think we've done Chapter 1 perfectly so far. There's no reason that we wouldn't have, that I can think of. So this is the last mission of Chapter 1, and then we're gonna move into a whole new phase, and I can finally change that chapter counter.
Spheres? Secrets? What's this about? Don't play dumb. We know you're guarding something. Hey, we're here to guard our families from rebel like you. What are you talking about? What'd you say?
What'd you say?
I think it's time you left.
Shout out to Knuckles from Sonic Heroes. There are only 5 chapters in the game, but the percentage between them is unevenly divided. So there's 25% in Chapter 1, and there's 25% in Chapter 5. And then the remaining 50 is spread out among 2, 3, and 4.
Don't get careless. Fool me.
Sir, chill.
Oh yeah, we are way overleveled. We got this. Cannot wait until I get that tasty charm bangle. Chocobo, I can't catch you yet! Stop doing this to me! Oops. Can't go that way. You can't, unfortunately. You don't even technically get to ride them unless you're in the Mihen High Road. You can't name them for sure, but you can send chocobos out to find treasure for you. Later on, you actually kind of have to find a secret dungeon. Maybe when I make the highlight reel, I'll do that. Jesus Christ!
I'm on a roll.
Ooh, not you guys right now. I'm fine, thank you. cannot capture chocobos until chapter 3, I want to say. Because eventually I get access to Gizzle... No, chapter 2, once I go to the Palmlands, then I can start catching chocobos. Because I need to capture... I need to get Gizzle Greens. And the only way I can do that is by a mission in chapter 2, and then I can get Gizzle Greens, and then I can use those to capture chocobos.
It's all in the wrist.
I genuinely... Oh! God damn it, I do remember how to get through here.
Okay, next please.
To go this way and then through the other tiny path. No!
Sir, chill.
Getting tired of these encounters. I just want to go! I'm Titus, I want to move! I think I have to overhear them, and then I can go through. Now I should be able to get through. Without being shot at. Okay. Let's use that knowledge we just observed. You only get that garment grid if you get all the passwords correct, so I was really paying attention. Alright, here is our final moments in Chapter 1.
Shut up. Just give us the sphere and we'll be on our way.
I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, I found the sphere!
There you have it. What's that?
I had a little something prepared for just such an occasion. Nice knowing you.
Me too, Allie. I love that they're just like, well.
Let's take this one apart. There ain't nothing I can't steal.
Nope, he is not weak to holy damage. I thought maybe. Hey, that was a breeze.
How you like that?
Not bad at all.
Just what do you think you're doing?
Actually, we're sphere hunters.
So?
Going, let's go! Sorry, Donna. The sphere is ours.
This whole scene so much. Just a giant airship.
Tough luck.
Chapter 1 complete. On that note. So, our counter should now be 25.2. And now we actually get to edit this counter as well. It definitely is, and this is also the remaster as well. So here is our end Chapter 1. Not strictly, but you probably will, because there is a super boss that you have to beat, and it is significantly easier if you are at level 99. But no, strictly speaking, being level 99 is not a requirement for getting 100% completion.
Did you see their faces? They totally wet their pants.
Maybe we overdid it.
Overdid it? There's no such thing! The Gull-winged shuttle notorious throughout Spira!
They weren't all that happy.
Huh?
Don't forget that notoriety can be a bad thing.
So what? I want to have fun!
Just make sure you don't do anything to land us some hot water, okay?
regular sphere hunters.
What she said?
Oh.
Oh no.
What?
Whenever Riku and brother agree, bad stuff happens.
That can't be good.
Okay, can't do that right now. Alright. I'm just trying to get 100%, buddy. I'm just trying to get 100%. This should say 25. It does. Great. We're doing great, gamers. Alright, let's find out what was on this sphere.
How'd the sphere analysis go?
It's just a regular movie sphere. It doesn't appear to have any special functions. You want to take a look?
Because I literally cannot do anything else until I look at it. Uh-oh. What on earth is that?
You know, you're all I can count on to save land.
Any ideas?
Brothers of Animations.
But as Machina go, it looks extremely dangerous. Definitely a weapon.
Uni, it's him. Is it you? Or does he just look like you? And who's this Len?
Front and center.
Okay. It will not allow me to leave, but I want to show you how the game prevents me from leaving right now. Brother is literally named Brother, yes.
So, let's get back that sphere. What do you say?
But we worked so hard to get it.
That thing is uber bad news.
What if we donated the sphere to the study of Spear's history?
A little bit, yeah.
A spear hunter was originally about, right?
It's a little late to be bringing that up.
Yeah, we already swiped it.
And I still don't want it. Give me it back now.
You don't mind? I've seen it.
It's still pretty shameless to saunter up and give back the spear we just stole.
Our reputation is all but worthless if we do that. Our leaders too, no less.
Well, now this isn't any fun at all. I really gotta let off some steam.
Oh, that's right. Oh, y'all are gonna love this scene. I forgot that this scene happens now.
Dance?
Oh, that's it. You must dance. Our sanity depends on it.
That sounds like an order, Yuna.
The exercise will do us good. Hang tight while
I love how brother dances. Love the gestures in this game. Alright, well, I can't go anywhere.
What's that sound?
Just some hikers I picked up. They're a colorful bunch.
Why did you pick up hitchhikers without telling us? So this scene is cool because this scene changes a little bit in terms of who is here based off of what you have done. And so, as y'all may or may not recall, we now have Klasko and Wakka riding with us because of our actions in Chapter 1. And they appear in this upcoming scene if you got them, which is cool. But I need to rest in the cabin because I need to do that at least once per chapter. So I'm gonna do that now. I always do it at the beginning, so I remember. It's also a very easy thing to miss 100% completion, is resting once per chapter in the cabin. Oh, this is fun. So we need to literally push them into the elevator with the worst camera possible. There we go. Here we go. We're gonna have a little concert on top of our airship. It sure does. Yuna's little dance. I'm grooving. This is Yuna's theme in this game, so of course it makes sense that she's singing this. So I actually do think this is Yuna's voice actress singing this. Later on in the game, when Yuna sings, it is definitely someone else. Now Riku's in her songs just dressphere and dancing.
Who's Len? Why am I so mad? Who the heck is Len?
Everyone's like, okay, Yuna. Are you doing alright over there?
I'm going to go to bed.
I do like that they added Klasko and Wakka to this scene if you have them. That's just a nice touch. Like, there's no reason they wouldn't join you on your rooftop party.
must have been a dream.
A dream's a dream.
Blame it on your new jammies.
Well, that's fine, controller, because we're not going to be playing too much longer anyway. I'm gonna go raid the engine room of its treasures. We're going to give the awesome sphere away, and then that'll be a pretty natural stopping point for today. We made quite a lot of progress. If y'all remember, we started the stream at 13%. Also, this airship is called the Celsius, which I think is cool, because the airship in the first game is called the Fahrenheit. You see what they did there? Airship theme is so groovy. I love it.
What's up?
Returning the sphere is all well and good, but who do we return it to?
The Youth League and New Yevon. It's a lose-lose situation.
What do you think, Yuna?
I'll follow your orders, leader.
I have no idea why it was called the Fahrenheit.
Hey, that's cheating.
I would argue one group is a lot better than the other Riku, because one of them is New Yevon.
New Yevon. Well, it's got Yevon in its name. Enough said.
But the Youth League is reckless. They're the ones picking the fights.
So, normally I would let the chat decide. However, in order to get a 100%, you must give the sphere to the Youth League. It is not possible to get 100% in a single file if you don't. But I am going to update our percentage. It says 27, just like it's supposed to. So we have 27.6 should be our percentage right now. At least according to my guide. Yep. So we must give the sphere to the Youth League. So let's go do that. This is why a New Game Plus can be fun, because this is a big choice that you make that you can't take back, and that you can make a different choice in the next file and see things shake out a little bit differently. So because it is only possible to get 100% in one file if you give it to the Youth League, I would like to think that the version of events that plays out if you do choose the Youth League is the canon version of events.
They're pulling out all the stops.
I wonder why.
You're the High Summoner, remember?
Who throws a welcome party for the people who ripped them off?
The day make. Of course, a little mixer.
I also like how Shinra's just like a 10-year-old kid, and they're like, yeah, he just travels with us. Don't worry about it. It does mean we have to see this fucking guy again, though.
We'd like to give you the sphere that you were looking for. Now that you have this, you can stop the fighting in Kilika.
How generous. And how sudden. Maybe you should start by introducing yourself, High Summoner.
We're the Gullwings.
I see. Sphere hunters. In that case, I gratefully accept the sphere you have brought. On behalf of the Youth League, I thank you. Everyone, 3 cheers for the Gullwings.
Oh, his brother gonna do his Gull Wings dance? I love the Gull Wings dance. Yep. his little flappy wings.
So, did you watch it? The sphere.
Well, you see,
We did.
Oh boy.
Forget.
I'm afraid I cannot.
Yuna, don't let him push you around.
Some advice. That thing, the Colossus you saw,
You will basically learn the same information regardless of who you pick, but there will be minor details here and there that would prevent you from getting 100% if you don't choose the Youth League, and the max you can get would be 99.
Fools think they can control it. The Youth League will do whatever it takes to make sure they do not get a chance to try. Trust me, you don't want to get involved.
Tell me, who was the man I saw in the sphere?
I cannot say.
I see.
Hey, we got a distress signal from the Celsius. Gold Wings, we're leaving.
Interlude. Anything missing? Still investigating.
It's official. We've been burgled. The broken sphere from the Zanarkand ruins is missing.
Looks like the burglar left us a present.
Who's on top now, Djose?
Look at him in the background!
It'll be 1,000 years before you can take on the mighty LeBlanc.
I love the LeBlanc gang so much.
She got us.
Oh, poop.
Yuna, don't talk like that.
I'm just copying you.
That's nice. And?
We're gonna take it back. No one messes with us.
And what about Vegnagun?
I didn't want to get too involved. Not like when I was a summoner. We're forgetting who we are. We're spear hunters, the Gullwings.
That's right! We're still back! What a stolen! It is the law of the Spear Hunter! Now we go to Chateau LeBlanc! The attack, the name of honor!
Get our heinies kicked in the name of honor.
Maybe we can sneak in disguise.
That's it! Yuna, you're brilliant!
So we have to fly around till we find LeBlanc's gang.
Beat them up and steal their uniforms. 3 of them.
So this becomes the central overarching mission of Chapter 2. Is we are going to steal 3 uniforms from the LeBlanc gang, and we're going to sneak into their hideout, and we're going to get our sphere back. So I'm going to save. I'm going to make sure we're at 29%. And that will be a great place to wrap it up for today. I was hoping we would make it until Chapter 2. Alright, let me make double sure we're on the right track. Look at that. Alright. Well, thank you so much for coming along, everyone. That was a lot of fun. We got tons done today. Next time we will pick up here, and we will do some of the mandatory stuff in Chapter 2 to get all of the percentage. And maybe make it to infiltrate? No, we're not gonna make it. There's too much to do. But we will be doing quite a lot of Chapter 2 next time. So thanks everyone for coming out. I had so much fun. I hope y'all did too. And I will see you next time.